In this session, I'm going to show you the LeMoyne Star, or the 8-pointed star. It's my favorite block of all. I'm going to show you how to do it without having to mark it, without having to stop and start, so that the accuracy is there, and hopefully you will enjoy this block as much as I do. The first thing I'm going to do is work with this unit right here. As you can see, we have bias all over the place, and we're going to have to handle these gently, but at the same time we're not going to have to be doing all of the marking and things that we normally do. So the step one is to take the triangle and one side of the block, and I am going to sew this side to the triangle. And to do that, I am going to simply sew from this point all the way down to this point. I want to point out a couple of things to you. Here, where this crosses, you have a little white triangle, and your 1/4-inch seam should hit right there where that point comes down in that open triangle. If it doesn't, double check your 1/4-inch seam. So I've sewn completely through that. Now it's time to put the other side on. So I've got the first side on. I want to make sure when I put the second side on that this is down. I finger press that. I have not yet pressed it with an iron. I simply finger press and make sure that the point of the triangle is pointing down. I am now going to sew. Again, I'm going to start here and sew to the end of that diamond shape. Once I've done that, I'm going to turn it over where I can see my seam lines, and this is where it becomes real critical. In this part, I have it sewn past the seam lines on both sides. Normally that's where you would have marked it to start and to stop. I am now going to remove those stitches that I have put there. I'm using the back side of my seam ripper, and I'm just pulling the threads up because I don't want to cut them. By cutting them, I get a hole, and if I leave them solid, I don't get that hole that comes in there because they stay locked into place. Then I go here and remove those 2 stitches on this side of. And isn't it always true when someone's watching, it's much harder to remove those stitches. Once I have them removed, I am going to fold this back on itself like this. I'm going to line up the points here. I'm going to line up the points there. And if you notice, this has that little tiny triangle right off the end. It's supposed to be there. And then I'm going to put this together, pin it, and again I'm going to sew straight through the point, and I will have a unit that looks like this, where I've sewn here and I've sewn here. I am going to go again, and I am going to remove those 2 stitches on this side of my unit, and then I can open that up. I'm going to press these 2 down. I'm going to press this seam open, and I have my unit, and it comes out perfect every time. I want you to take a look at this next quilt that I want to show you. It's from one of my students in my classes. She's pretty much a beginner, and once I showed her this technique, this is what she was able to accomplish by using this method.